Hi guys, welcome back again to the channel. Today in this quick video I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to go about a double layer puff sleeve. So guys, these are the materials I'm going to be using to quickly share this tutorial with you guys. So what I have here is organza, and you are going to get an organza that is about at least 3 yards. What I have here is 1 yard. So this 1 yard is what I'm going to be using for just this one sleeve. So I would advise that you get 3 yards if you're going to be using it for the 2 sleeves. Okay, so I've already cut out a basic sleeve. As you can see, this is a basic long sleeve. So what I want to do now is to determine the sections for this particular sleeve. So the full length I have here is 23.5 inches. So the first section I can decide to have it at 9, and then the next section will be around like 17 inches. Okay, so I am going to be marking the first section. So from the top of the sleeve I came down by 10 inches. So that's for the first section. Now still placing the tape at the top, I'm coming down to 17 inches here for the second section. So 10 inches, and then the second one is 17 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my ruler to just extend these lines across. So guys, the next thing you want to do is you're going to take a measurement from the top of your sleeve here down to the second line, and what I have here is 17 inches. So for me to cut on the organza, I'm going to add extra 4 inches to that. So 17 plus 4 is going to give me 21 inches. So this is my organza here. It's in a fold. So it's in a fold here. I folded it into 2, and like I said earlier, this is 1 yard, and as you can see, I folded it again into 4. So go ahead and do the same thing. I'll just go ahead and iron this out to make it stand properly. So after ironing it out, you can see it's staying better. So I'm just spinning it around because this is organza and it's quite hard to work with, and it actually moves like when you don't want it to move. So I just wanted to be sure that is secured in place. So I'm going to be using this to cut out the sleeve that is going to be placed on top. So like I said before, you're going to measure what you have at the top down to the second line, and what I had there was 17 inches, but I added extra 4 inches to that. So from the top of this organza, I am marking 21 inches, which is the 17 inches plus 4. I hope you guys understand. And I'm just drawing a straight line across like this to get the length of the pleated puff that we are going to be having on top. So don't forget that this sleeve here is folded. I've folded this fabric into 4. Okay, so now for this curve area here on my normal sleeve, I have 10 inches, but for the puff sleeve we are going to have it very long. So I'm just going to be using freehand to create a very long armhole curve. Can you see what arm curve here? You can see what I'm doing here. It's going to be very wide. Make sure it's very wide, and then just extend the side to meet the ending of the sleeve, just like you see me doing here. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out. So this is like a very big sleeve. Another method you can use and do this is to do slash and spread method, but this is actually quite easier. So this is going to be the one that we're going to be pleating on top of the normal sleeve. Okay, and like I said before, it's 2. This is actually double, and it's going to be just for 1 sleeve. You can actually fold 3 pieces for just 1 sleeve. The more folds you have, the more puffy is going to look. Okay, now you're going to measure from the top of the normal sleeve down to the first line, and what I had there was 10 inches. But instead of marking 10 inches on this organza, I'm going to be adding 2 inches to that, and I'm marking 12 inches, and I'm using that 12 inch to just draw a straight line all the way across. So I'm measuring on this side just to ensure that it's the same thing on this side as well. So guys, once you're through making the center line, the next thing you want to do is you're going to make a gather stitch at this top, at this line here, and also at the end. So when you're making gather stitches, you know that you're not going to make any back stitch. So I went ahead to do that, and this is what I had here. Okay, can you see what it looks like? I made a gather stitch at this top here, this other line, and this place here. You can see that I left some threads at the end so that I'll be able to pull in the threads to give me my gathers. So as you can see, I'm pulling on the top thread for the first stitch that I had on the curved area. So go ahead and pull on the thread to give you your gathers. So once you're done with the first one, move over to the second one, pull on the threads as well, just like you see me doing like this, and then also pull on the last thread. So guys, once you're through pulling on the threads, you're going to have it looking like this. You can see that we have that double layer effect already. So now we're going to bring the puff sleeve. The curved side of the sleeve is going to be at the top, and then the straight part is going to be under. So it's going to kind of be arranged like this. So you want to make sure that the gathered part is evenly spread and that is exactly enough to fit into the area where it's supposed to be. Can you see what I have here? So now you're going to place your gathered the way I did, turn it to the end of the fabric like this, and pin it down. Just like you see me doing like this. I don't know how to explain this, but turn the gather over to the wrong side and pin it down like this on the last line. Actually, make sure you spread the gathers evenly so that everything is staying nice and pretty, just like you see here. And I'm going to head over to the sewing machine and make a top stitch on this part here before going over to cover it up. So I'll stitch this area down and be right back. So guys, this is what it looks like after I was done making that first stitch on the last line here. Okay, so if you turn it over, I've stitched it down here, as you can see. If we push it over like this, you can see now that the curved area of the top is actually going to fit in. So go ahead and ensure that the gathers are evenly spread again so that it can fit into the curved area of the top as well. So once you're done spreading this out, you have to spread it evenly. You're going to go ahead and start pinning the top. It's actually going to fall in normally because you cut it out as a curve at the top as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and pin it around, just like you see me doing like this. Be very patient with it because this might actually be very hard to work with because of the organza. But as you can see, I'm pinning the top area on the normal sleeve. You can see what is going on here. Now I'm going to go over to the sewing machine and I'm going to make a top stitch to join the two pieces together. So guys, after joining those pieces together, this is what we have. So the last part is for us to work on this middle puffiness here. Okay, so now remember that line that we made earlier, so we're just going to stitch this on it. So I'm just going to spread these gathers evenly again, just to make sure that everything is sitting nice and pretty. And I'm going to head over to the sewing machine and make sure that this is staying perfectly. And I'm going to go ahead and make a top stitch here like this on top of this area. Just make a top stitch to also join the two different sleeves together. So I'll just go ahead and make a top stitch here and show you guys. So guys, this is what the sleeve is looking like after I've made a stitch here. Make sure to use a thread color that actually fits the fabric you're working with, because this one I'm working with, the thread is actually a little bit lighter than what the fabric looks like, but it's actually fine. We can work with it. So now the next thing I want to do, as you can see, I just turned this to the wrong side. I am just going to head over and stitch down this side. Okay, that's just basically the last thing. I'll head over and stitch down this area here. So guys, after stitching down my sleeve on this side, this is what it looks like, and this is basically how to go about making this double layer puff sleeve. If you want it to be more puffy, you need to get way more than 1 yard of fabric, because for this particular sleeve I use 1 yard, and make sure to double your sleeve. So yeah, this is basically it. You can see it on my sleeve here, and I also went ahead to just place it on my body form just so it to be a little bit more appreciated. If you want it to be bigger, definitely you will need to get way more fabric. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one.